Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Alongway, where you grow in life and grow in English. I'm Elina.
And I'm Marcus.
Okay, Marcus, quick question. When did you last feel completely lost learning something new?
Honestly, every time I try to learn a new language.
Right. And here's something interesting. A child learning their first language never feels lost. They just absorb everything. No textbooks, no grammar rules, no fear.
Yeah, because they don't know they're supposed to be scared.
Exactly. So today we're asking a big question. Should adults learn English the same way children do? Naturally, through listening and living? Or do we need something completely different?
And I already have opinions about this.
I know you do. So here's my starting point. Children learn language in the most natural way possible. They listen for months before they speak, they make mistakes, and nobody corrects every single one. They hear stories, songs, conversations, and slowly the language just builds inside them.
Okay, yes, that sounds beautiful.
And I think adults can do the same thing. Listen more, watch English content, stop worrying about rules. Just let the language come in naturally.
Elina, come on.
What?
Adults cannot afford to learn only naturally. There's a difference.
Okay, but here's what I actually mean. I'm not saying throw away all structure forever. I'm saying the natural approach. Listening, reading for fun, watching shows you enjoy. That should be the foundation, not grammar drills, not memorizing lists.
But without grammar, how do you know if what you're saying is correct?
You feel it. You develop intuition. If you hear correct English 1,000 times, your ear learns what sounds right.
Okay, but what if you hear incorrect English 1,000 times? What if the people around you all make the same mistakes?
Well, that's why you choose your input carefully.
So now there are rules for the natural approach?
That's not... Marcus, stop twisting my words.
I'm not twisting anything. I'm just noticing that even your natural method has structure hidden inside it.
Okay, maybe a little, but it's different from sitting in a classroom and conjugating verbs for 2 hours.
Agreed. Nobody enjoys that.
Nobody.
But here's my real argument, though. Adults have something children don't have. Adults can analyze. We can read an explanation and understand a rule immediately. A child needs 6 months of exposure to internalize something an adult can understand in 10 minutes.
But understanding a rule and using it naturally are two completely different things.
Yes, exactly. That's why I say combine them. Use your adult brain to understand the structure and then use natural exposure to make it feel automatic.
Okay, so you're not saying only study grammar.
Of course not. I'm saying don't ignore it either.
Fine, I can accept that.
Wait, did Elina just agree with me?
Don't make it a big moment, Marcus.
But let me push back on one more thing. You talk about natural exposure, watching shows, listening to podcasts, that's great. But a lot of adult learners try that and feel completely overwhelmed. They understand nothing, and they give up.
Because they start with content that's too difficult.
Maybe, or because they have no framework to hold on to. A child doesn't feel overwhelmed because their brain is built to handle the confusion. An adult feels like a failure and stops.
That's a psychology problem, not a method problem.
Is it? Or is the method creating the psychological problem? If you give someone a method that's too hard, too slow, and too confusing, they will feel bad about themselves, and feeling bad about yourself is the fastest way to stop learning.
Okay, that's actually a really good point.
I know.
But here's something I want to say strongly. The reason most adult learners fail is not because they lack the right grammar book, it's because they never fall in love with the language. Children love their language. They play with it, they sing in it, they dream in it. Most adult learners treat English like a math exam. Pass or fail, correct or incorrect. And that pressure kills the joy.
Okay, I actually agree with that completely.
And when there's no joy, there's no motivation. And without motivation, no method works. Not the natural one, not the structured one, nothing.
That's true. I've seen people with perfect textbooks and zero progress. And I've seen people who just watched their favorite English TV show for a year and started speaking beautifully.
Exactly.
So maybe the method matters less than the emotion behind it.
Yes, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time.
Well, you should have said it more clearly 20 minutes ago.
I tried. You kept interrupting.
Okay, personal story. When I first started seriously improving my English, I bought a very serious grammar book. Big, heavy, and terrifying.
How long did you use it?
3 days.
3 days?
Because the font was too small and the examples were sentences like, "The professor has submitted the report." Nobody talks like that.
Nobody.
And then I started watching a cooking show in English just because I liked cooking. And after 3 months, I noticed my English was genuinely better. Not because I studied, because I was enjoying myself.
See, that's exactly what I mean.
But, and this is important, I also had a base. I already knew basic grammar. The show didn't teach me from zero, it built on something.
Okay, yes, a small foundation helps. I'll give you that. My story is different. I had a teacher in school who was very strict. Every mistake was corrected immediately, every sentence analyzed, and I remember feeling so scared to speak because every word felt like a test.
That sounds exhausting.
It was, and my English barely improved for 2 years. Then one summer, I started reading simple English books, just for fun, stories I actually liked, and everything changed.
Because you relaxed.
Because I relaxed, because I was reading because I wanted to, not because someone told me to.
So the lesson is, don't have your teacher.
The lesson is find your own reason to love the language.
So let's bring in a new angle here. There's actually research on this. Stephen Krashen, a linguist, argued that we acquire language best when the input is just slightly above our current level. Not too easy, not too hard. He called it comprehensible input.
And that works for children and adults.
Exactly. It's not about being a child, it's about finding the right level of challenge. Interesting enough to keep you engaged, understandable enough to keep you from giving up.
So it's not learn like a child, it's learn with the right material and the right mindset.
That's a much better way to say it.
Thank you.
Don't let it go to your head.
Okay, let's talk to our listeners for a moment.
Yes, let's.
First question. Think about how you learned English. Was it mostly in a classroom with rules, tests, and pressure? Or was it through things you enjoyed? Music, movies, conversations?
Take a moment. Really think about it.
Second question. What was the moment, if there was one, when English started to feel less like a subject and more like a tool? When did it start to feel real?
And third, what's one thing you actually enjoy in English? One show, one song, one type of content? Is that part of your learning right now? If not, why not?
These are small questions, but the answers can be surprisingly important.
Okay, let's land this.
So, should adults learn English like children?
Short answer, not exactly.
Long answer, borrow the best parts of how children learn. The joy, the comfort with mistakes, the patience, the love of the language.
But use your adult brain too. Learn a little structure. Choose your input wisely. Understand why things work.
Children learn through life. Adults can learn through the things they love, if they let themselves.
The mistake most adults make is treating language learning like a problem to solve. It's not a problem. It's a relationship.
And like any relationship, it takes time, patience, and genuine interest.
Not fear, not pressure, not a 300-page grammar book with tiny font.
Never that.
Never that.
So, here's the thought we want to leave you with today. You don't need to become a child again to learn English. You just need to stop being so afraid of it.
Let it in. Find what you enjoy. Trust the process, even when it feels slow.
Because the people who speak English beautifully, most of them didn't get there through fear. They got there through curiosity.
And a little bit of stubbornness.
A little bit of stubbornness, yes.
If this conversation helped you,
Keep listening, keep growing.